William Cross and Peony Fhagen-Smith's model of Black identity development. There are a few important terms and definitions before discussing the theory. Black identity is the passing down from one generation to the next, the learned experiences and identity activities that facilitate Black adjustment and humanity under conditions often framed by race, racism, and the proactive dimensions of Black culture. Negrescence refers to the process of becoming Black. Cross's three central concepts of negrescence are personal identity, reference group orientation, and race salience. Negrescence is a lifespan approach. There are three main patterns. Negrescence pattern A describes a process in which individuals develop a Black identity resulting from formative socialization experiences. Negrescence pattern B represents the conversion experience, where Black people who are not socialized toward Blackness or who have not formed a healthy Black identity usually experience a conversion during adulthood. Negrescence pattern C involves negrescence recycling, an expansion or modification of Black identity throughout adulthood. There are 6 sectors in the theory. Sector 1 is infancy and childhood in early Black identity development. Factors that influence Black development in this sector are family income, traditions and practices, social networks such as school and church, and historical events contribute to the early socialization experiences of Black children. During this time, Black children can be unaware of racism or a racial identity. The second sector is pre-adolescence. Based on parental socialization, 3 identity types emerge: low race salience, high race salience, and internalized racism. Children with low race salience receive few or no messages from parents about race and place no significance on being Black, with the exception of physical features. Children with high race salience are taught to view Black culture as an important aspect of self-concept. Internalized racism identity develops when children see patterns of negativity toward being Black or toward Black people in their immediate family. These internalized ideas can lead to self-hatred. The third sector is adolescence. During a period of self-discovery, Black youth for whom race has low salience may reaffirm low race salience self-concepts instead of exploring Black identity. These individuals explore identity such as non-dominant sexual or gender identity. For Black youth with an internalized racism identity, their negative Black self-concepts are likely to be strengthened if the assumptions they have internalized are not challenged. Development in the adolescence phase is not predictable. Children who enter adolescence with low race salience can transition out of this sector with low race salience. However, it is also possible that children may have an experience that prompts progression towards adopting high race salience. Similarly, children who enter adolescence with high race salience could solidify a race salient identity, but might also experience challenges to their Blackness that could lead to de-emphasizing race and Black culture and shift focus toward a non-race salient identity. Sector 4 is early adulthood. Black people with high race salience represent the largest number in this sector. These adults have established a group that values race and Black culture. Any changes in their identity would occur during negrescence recycling, which is Sector 6. Black adults with low race salience still see race as non-essential and construct diverse identities across an array of categories. However, they are susceptible to adult negrescence, especially if they experience an event that causes them to examine their race. Internalized racism continues into adulthood, where prevalent issues that existed in early stages of life remain implemented. A conversion is necessary for these individuals to establish a healthy Black identity and race salience. Black adults who have low race salience or internalized racism may never experience adult negrescence. Race can potentially remain non-essential and feelings of self-hatred may persist throughout adulthood. The fifth sector is adult negrescence. Negrescence involves 4 stages: pre-encounter, encounter, immersion, and internalization. Pre-encounter represents low race salience and internalized racism. The encounter stage occurs when Black people experience an event that causes a conflict in their understanding of their racial identity. Immersion and emersion has 2 developmental processes. Immersion, with an I, adopt a Black nationalist or pro-Black identity. Immersion, with an E, individuals re-examine through a more balanced and focused lens the merging of the emotional and intellectual aspects of Black identity, a more authentic understanding of Black identity. Negative outcomes might occur, such as regression, continuation or fixation, and dropping out. Internalization is composed of 3 different perspectives: Black nationalist, bicultural, and multicultural. Individuals with a Black nationalist identity consider being Black their most salient identity and commit themselves to political and social platforms to advance the Black community. Individuals who have a bicultural reference group orientation concern themselves with infusing their Black identity and their American identity. Individuals who accept a multicultural perspective focus on a wide range of identities. Thus, in addition to being Black, they explore other identities and worldviews and push for social justice. Sector 6 is negrescence recycling. Negrescence recycling occurs when one's pre-existing Black self-concept is called into question. 3 patterns of negotiation that influence the socialization of Black people are transactional competence in race situations, so transactions with oppression; transactional competence in all Black situations, so transactions with African Americans; and transactional competence in mainstream circumstances, so transactions with the larger and increasingly multicultural American society. Each pattern represents the types of experiences Black people face daily, whether it be contending with racism, feeling a sense of pride in being Black, or understanding the importance of being successful in the larger society. Finally, there are 5 identity transactions and enactments. The first, buffering, refers to the protective strategies that individuals use to shield themselves from or respond to racist/oppressive interactions. Buffering is a reactive behavior used to address an immediate threat. 2. Code switching is a transaction in which Black people maneuver interactions within the white mainstream and Black cultural life. Code switching is a proactive method to address lifelong situations that arise, such as maneuvering the work environment to gain or maintain employment and promotion and strive toward a positive educational trajectory. Third, bridging reflects the ability to foster close and meaningful interpersonal relationships with others, whether they are Black or not. This transaction represents a comfortable sense of identity. Fourth, bonding refers to the central, daily enactments that Black people use to remain connected to and grounded within Black social and cultural life. This reflects a sense of belonging and affinity with Black people. Finally, fifth, individualism is an enactment in which Black people are being themselves and express less of a collective affinity towards other Black people. The identity enactments are related to the strategies of negrescence theory. For example, individuals in the internalization stage who have adopted a Black nationalist identity will enact buffering and code switching when dealing with white people. They are also more likely to minimize bridging with white people and engage in individualization. Their primary enactment would reflect bonding with other Black people.